I was explaining to my daughter today too about how all this ties together. Like my abuse is the same as her abuse. It's like mirrors, which I was explaining to her mirrors the abuse that the whole system is set up to operate as. You know, you look around and you're like, oh man, you know, things need to be fixed. This system is not broken. The system is operating exactly as it's supposed to. It's an abusive system. It rewards abuse. It rewards non-humanity. It rewards groupthink. It rewards going along with the crowd. And what it creates eventually, and for the weakest people, is that. I mean, how sad is that? That's the picture my daughter drew when I was explaining groupthink to her. So when she's around, that's why when she's at school, she doesn't want to be around that, because that's what it does to her. She doesn't know what to think. Because there's no right or wrong. You're living in somebody else's fucking universe. And in that universe changes constantly depending on what the groupthink says. It's dangerous, guys. It causes that. That's what's happening to all these young people. That's what's happening. Everybody's got cognitive dissonance, guys. From the groupthink, from the abuse, from the abusive systems. You're not going to vote anybody in. None of this is going to get fixed. None of it like that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. This is what our kids are walking around like. Cognitive dissonance. If they're not in the group, if they're not playing the games and falling right in line and changing their story every time the group changes their story, this is what happens to them. It's sad, man. It's sad. And people are doing it for their conveniences, you know? People are going along with the group thing. And I was tying it all back. I don't care if you guys think, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to say exactly what the fuck is going on that I see going on. And if you don't see it, I suggest you take a step back, because you're standing way too close to the edge. And what I see going on is when they locked everybody down, they put masks, they covered them, they muzzled them. That's what that is. That's a muzzle. Makes it hard to breathe and hard to talk, hard to hear. It's a muzzle. They didn't want you to speak anymore. They wanted you to shut the fuck up. That's what they did. It's so obvious. If anybody, people still act like that didn't happen. It's like it did happen. And that's what creates the cognitive dissonance. So the government's locked everybody down, put muzzles on them, and then tried to scare everybody so badly to make them take experimental poison into their veins. I mean, it's nuts, guys. This is nuts. And people are like, oh, well, I'll just vote for this guy. And are you kidding? Guys, every fucking business, every goddamn everything in the world followed suit. This is bad. If that doesn't just, if that doesn't get your fucking thinking bone going, I don't know what will. I mean, somebody saying it like that to you, what is your excuse? Yeah, but for the better good. That's what I'm saying. That groupthink is dangerous, man. Groupthink is dangerous, bud. Again, if you haven't seen it, the abuse that continues to me. My sister and her husband left me abusive. You'll see. You'll see, and if you've been paying attention to my videos, you're seeing in real time the abuse that's happening and what's going on. But they left, I don't know if I said it on this video, but on that video I made just yesterday, I think, to my mom, sister, and every other covert narcissist, my sister and my brother-in-law left messages down. Read those messages, and you'll see how the gaslighting just continues. As soon as you fall out and you you want to address things and talk about things. You know what I mean? Now, they can sit there and they can bullshit with you about anything till your face falls off, till your ears fall off, about the stupidest, dumbest, nonsensical shit. But if you want to talk about any of this real shit, you want to talk about anything real, you want to try to solve an issue, fix a problem, hurts. Fibromyalgia starts kicking in. Hurts. Headache happens. Back starts hurting. You know what I mean? That's the natural process, guys. That's what happens when you're trying to heal. Your body wants to heal. You are storing trauma. You are storing all those lies. You are storing all this bullshit. All this nothing that somebody else put on you. That's what's happening, is your body's trying to get rid of it and you're holding on to it. You have cognitive dissonance. This is what happens. And what it does is it shows up in your body, in your head. That's what happens. It's very simple. It's not difficult. That's what I'm saying. But you can go to hundreds of different experts and they'll all tell you their own take on it and give you detailed, and you can spend the rest of your life going down every rabbit hole in the world, finding every excuse to not heal yourself. Unreal, man. People are lazy, bud. People are lazy. I was explaining to my daughter today again. I said, look, this is free. This doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go outside yourself. You sit here and you heal. It's that simple. And all it takes is just being honest with yourself and believing in yourself and just moving through and intuiting your healing as you go. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I know a lot of these people around me are highly medicated, you know, legally medicated, highly legally medicated. I was in the grocery store, was it this morning, when all the older generations in there, like 55 plus or whatever it is. Dude, you're talking about 60-year-olds moving around. Like, my dad's 60, he's on his fucking last leg, just being held alive with pills. I go in the grocery store, that's what I see, a bunch of people. I mean, 60 is young, guys. 60 is so young. These 60-year-olds are broken down, fucking barely moving. You can tell they're all pilled out. Their eyes are glassed over. They're like, oh. I mean, it's unreal. And that's just the older generation. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of people that never wanted to face their shit and just taking a whole bunch of pharmaceuticals. And once you get on that pharmaceutical train, it is hard to get off. Especially if you worship doctors like all these people do. Just worshiping doctors. As soon as one doctor disagrees with you, you find another one that'll agree and you worship that one. And you take all his pills. It's crazy, man. Crazy. But we're calling it for what it is and we're getting it out there. But yeah, if you didn't see the comments and the abuse I'm still taking, it's at the bottom of that video where I called out the covert narcissist the other day. You know, I don't know, dude. We'll see where, I have no clue where this is going. I'm just going to continue to heal regardless. Like, that shit is no longer going to stop me. You know what I mean? But it's getting out there. So